Yo, what's going on, everybody? This is Don't Talk Sports. My name is Dylan. In today's video, what we're discussing is we're going to talk about the fact that the Atlanta Falcons just now in the 2024 NFL Draft, in the first round, drafted Michael Penix Jr., a quarterback, at 8th overall, right after they signed Kirk Cousins in free agency to a 4-year, $180 million contract with $100+ million in guarantees. Now, you might be saying, oh, okay, that's already a lot of drama right there. Oh, it adds on whenever the fact that Kirk Cousins and his camp has now tweeted out and basically put their input out, and Kirk Cousins' agent Mike McCartney has basically put out saying that him and his camp are not happy about this. They are upset. They want answers. They want to know what the fuck's going on. So what I thought I'd do in this video is I kind of want to go over the drama, discuss it, talk about it, and then ultimately just kind of give my opinion by the very end of if I think the Atlanta Falcons, 1, made a good idea by drafting a quarterback, 2, why this could be a good thing and a bad thing at the same time, and 3, ultimately just kind of how it's all going to play out in the end. But I'm going to stop rambling and we're going to get straight into this. So if you're going to enjoy it, as always, make sure you go and drop a like onto this video. Be very much appreciated if you do so. But without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, first things first, this whole article you're going to be seeing on screen, I'm going to have a link to it down in the description below with like info. So if you want to go check out the entire article, read everything for yourself, feel free to do so. Okay, now like I said, the Atlanta Falcons back in NFL free agency, back in March, they signed Kirk Cousins. We've all seen the news. A 4-year, I believe it was $180 million, it's $100 million guaranteed contract. Then here in the first round of the draft, the Atlanta Falcons decide to, with the 8th overall pick, not take a receiver to possibly help out Kirk Cousins, not take an offensive lineman to maybe help him out. He's coming off of an injury. Let's try and get some protection for him. Hell, let's not even go for some defense when the defense was shit last season. Let's take a quarterback. Now, as we can see here, it says Kirk Cousins' agent Mike McCartney told ESPN's Pete Thamel that the Falcons did not tell the quarterback that they would pick Penix until the team was on the clock. McCartney said there is frustration and confusion coming from the Cousins camp because Atlanta did not use its first-round pick to make the team better in 2024. Basically kind of saying, usually when a team is going to be drafting like a quarterback or like a receiver or something of importance, they're going to call ahead to the others, like as we see it, quarterback, and say, hey, just want to get your input. We're going to be drafting a quarterback. And usually this is whenever like you're going to be drafting a quarterback in like the 4th, 5th, 6th round. Maybe like you're getting an input on your starting quarterback and be like, hey, how do you feel about this guy being your backup? We're looking at him in the 5th or 6th round. And the quarterback can usually say like, hey, this looks good. He's got some things he's got to work on, but maybe I can help him out with them. But when you're talking about drafting a guy in the 1st round, you're not talking about just drafting a backup. You're talking about drafting the predecessor to Kirk Cousins. Now, one of the things I do want to go over, it says here, instead the Falcons used their selection on Cousins' apparent successor before he even played for the team. McCartney said Cousins understands the business of football and is ready to move on, but there was indeed surprise about the Falcons' decision. Then goes on to say Falcons general manager Terry Fontenot, I think is how you say the name, and coach Raheem Morris said Cousins' reaction would remain private. They said here, and I quote, he got called on the clock, obviously because of the sensitive time with the issues of what you got going on, quote. Morris said, quote, it's never a right time to talk to a quarterback about those things, and reactions are always going to be a private when it comes to those things, unless Kirk decides to tell you of those things that are whatever they may be. But he's a competitor just like us all, and you can always expect those things to go just like you kind of think, quote. Now, real quick before I go any further, the big thing that I do want everybody to understand is I understand where Kirk Cousins is coming from. Because imagine last season, you had your great season, but you got hurt by injuries, you had the Achilles, and got let down midway point of the season. You come back this season and you're thinking, okay, I'm going to have a bounce back year. I'm still playing at the top of my game. I'm playing good. I'm going to go to Atlanta. I think I can bring this city a championship. And then before you even get a chance to even go on the field and show what you got for the city and play with the guys that are there at the team, you get almost like replaced immediately. Now let me tell you why this is a good thing and a bad thing. Let's go over the bad first. Like I just said with the bad, this is almost like just like a low blow, a gut punch to Kirk Cousins, as of you thought you were the guy. You are the guy. You're coming in here. You're ready to go, ready to lead this team. Let's go try to win a Super Bowl for the Atlanta Falcons. And it's like before you even get on the field, you're already being given your due date of like, hey, we need you to get out of here about a year and a half, 2 years. The other negative, let's look at Penix. He's had a lot of injuries throughout his career. Is he going to be able to hold up in the NFL? Now, last season, he had a really good year. He was a runner-up for the Heisman Trophy. He led his team to the national championship, or didn't win, but he got there. And also, he's already 23. I think he's going to be 24 years old here in a few weeks. So he's going to be pushing almost 26, 27 years old if he were to get on the field by the time Kirk Cousins is kind of done with his guaranteed money. Now, why exactly could this be? I guess you could say a good thing. As you can see here, Morris said the Falcons talked a lot of the, quote, Green Bay model, quote, how Jordan Love succeeded Aaron Rodgers successfully in 2023 after sitting for 3 years behind Aaron Rodgers. He says, quote, "It's been proven to be right last year," quote, "so hopefully we'll be right with them." So basically they're basing this on a what if kind of concept of, hey, let's hope and see, can Kirk Cousins play good for us for a few years? What happened last time when they drafted Jordan Love? Aaron Rodgers went out there and won 2 MVPs. I believe they were back to back. So are they basing this on, hey, let's draft Michael Penix Jr., let's sign Kirk Cousins, and then let's see if Kirk Cousins can go out there and win a couple MVPs, get us in the playoffs, let's see how far he can get, and then whenever we're ready, and say after like 3 years, even the 4th year, if Kirk Cousins is getting 38, 39 years old, and they don't want to pay him the big time money, and they want to say, hey, Kirk, we're done with you, you played well, good job, and they want to move on with Michael Penix Jr., so be it. Now, one thing I do want to say is I think Michael Penix Jr. is going to be a good-ish quarterback. I think he has the intangibles, the skill level, the qualities to be a good NFL quarterback. Now, is he going to be just like a plug-and-play type quarterback? That's not going to happen. He's going to need to be coached. He's going to need to be tutored and shown how to be a good quarterback. Hopefully, maybe we'll see if Kirk Cousins can be that. The one good thing from Kirk Cousins that I have heard about is that he actually reached out. He wanted to get Michael Penix's number. He wanted to call him, kind of get in contact, and congratulate him for being drafted to the Falcons. The one thing I will say to just kind of wrap this up is this is going to be a very, and I mean very, tense situation in Atlanta for the next 2 to 3 years. Because one of the big things that has came out is what happens if this season, not even halfway through the year, we already start seeing Kirk Cousins struggle. Let's say he goes out there and he's throwing 14 touchdowns, 8 interceptions through like the first 8 weeks of the season, and he's struggling. Then it gets to like maybe 15 touchdowns and 10 interceptions, and he's really struggling. The team's like 4-4, 5-5. You're going to start hearing some Michael Penix Jr. chants in the crowd. And I'm telling you now, the second you start hearing those Penix Jr. crowds or chants in the crowd, you might have the general manager and the front office executives coming to the coaching staff saying like, hey, I mean, Kirk Cousins is a good guy. I know we got a lot of money into him, but we kind of have the crowd begging for Michael Penix. But ultimately, to kind of wrap it up, here's my final points. Like I said, on the bad side, you have a lot of drama now building in Atlanta. How's this going to play out? That remains to be seen. But on the good end of things, if Kirk Cousins were to not pan out, or at the end of this contract, I believe it's 3 years into the contract. After the 3rd year and the 4th year, the guarantee money is then done. If they want to then just move on from Kirk Cousins and go with Michael Penix's route, and say Kirk Cousins wanted to retire as a Atlanta Falcon like he said he wanted to, if he wants to retire after that year, he's got his money, he's got his bag. If he's still trying to go win some titles or still trying to play football and he wants to go somewhere else, that's on him. But I think Atlanta, they pretty much made up their mind, and they pretty much said, we looked at the draft class next season. We don't see anything possible for us to get a quarterback next season. We're going to take our chances now and go get ourselves Michael Penix Jr. But that's all I got to say for this video. I'm going to wrap it up there. Hopefully you guys did go on to enjoy today's video. If you did enjoy it, as always, make sure you're going to drop a like on today's video. Be very much appreciated if you do so. If you wanted to watch the entirety of today's video, thank you very much. And like I said, if you have an opinion, do you think the Atlanta Falcons made the right decision, bad decision by drafting Michael Penix Jr.? Do you think they should have just stuck with Kirk Cousins? Maybe if they wanted to draft a quarterback, draft like a backup at the later round. Should they have just not signed Kirk Cousins and just went forward with Michael Penix Jr. if they thought it was possible? Leave your complete opinion about what you think about the Atlanta Falcons' decision to do this down in the comment section down below. Be more welcome to talk about with you guys. If you're a fan of the content that I do post here and you want to go and hit that big red subscribe button, feel free to do so, and do not forget to hit that little notification bell. Be notified the second I post. But without further ado, this has been Dylan Talk Sports. Have a great day. Peace.